my tubies. It's me, Sheila True Love. This is Q&A about love, sex, and relationships. Season 1, Episode 3. So why don't I wait until some of you get on board? We have a really interesting question here. Can a relationship with an addict, drugs, alcohol, can these type of relationships work? I would love your take on that. I would really like that. Let me fix my eyes and my face. Yeah. And this is definitely something that I have experienced. Being in a relationship with someone who was an addict, a drug person, whatever. Anyway, oh, does it work? No. Okay, that's the synopsis. Okay, bye now. We've already had this discussion. Okay, so we're going to read the question. Don't forget my email address is SheilaTrueLove7 at AOL.com. That's why these people send me these questions, okay? I'm going to sit here and wait a little bit to see how many of my tubies want to join in, because like you said, you love me. And if you love me, you're going to help me by giving me your viewpoint as well. God knows I'm interested. Do you honestly believe that a relationship with a drug addict can honestly work? An alcoholic, can that work? Okay, so like I said, this is a Q&A. Here's the question. I was trying to wait till my tubies come up in here, but eventually you'll arrive and I'll be happy to hang with you. So here we go. The question is, I love my boyfriend very much, but he has a problem with drugs. I've asked him to stop, even threatened to leave many times, and he always promises that he will change, but he never does. I don't want to leave him, but I can't live like this. What should I do? This is what she asked. Personally, me, she already knows what she has to do. She has to leave. Why? Because when you're involved with a person who has an addiction, you're playing with fire and you're surely going to get burnt. If your partner has an addiction, he's in love with something other than you. They're in love with the alcohol, they're in love with the drugs, etc., etc., sex addiction, gambling addiction, whatever. They are in love with something other than you. So, you know what? That's the same thing as cheating. In effect, it's the same thing as cheating on you, because that substance is your rival, and it will take his time, his attention, and his spirit away from you. You will end up hating it so much the same way you would hate it if he was with another woman, or a male, if you're a man, if she was with another man. Loving an addict also means loving someone who's a slave. They are enslaved to the drug, the alcohol, the sexual addiction, the gambling, or some type of activity that has become their master. So when I look at her question again, I love him. I don't want to let him go. But he's not a free person, sweetheart. He's not a free person. You will have a hard time getting an addict to admit that they are a slave, because they secretly know that they're being controlled by the activity or the substance. That substance is their master. So for an addict to admit that they are addicted, that would be the same as admitting that they are powerless. And that's a very frightening and a humbling experience, especially if they're a narcissist. Yet, in order to recover, it's crucial for them to first admit it. You have to first admit that you have a problem before you can begin to address it. And when you think about it, a person who's an addict, that does interfere with their ability to be intimate with you. Because think about numbness. When a person is addicted to alcohol, drugs, sex, gambling, whatever, They have a certain numbness, and this addictive substance, it numbs them. It numbs their ability to feel. This habit of emotional numbness will make it difficult for you and your partner to feel as much. No, not you and your partner. It will make it hard for them to feel what you know that they should be feeling for you. So you'll end up feeling lonely, resentment in this relationship. Now, we already know that relationships are hard enough just being sober and just being normal people, you know what I mean? And when you get involved with somebody who's enslaved to an addiction, that makes it like 100 times worse. It makes it 100 times worse. Now, am I saying that you should not love this person or that this person does not deserve to be loved? No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you have to make it perfectly clear to this person that they need to get recovery. They need to free themselves of this addiction, and they need to understand the pain that they're causing so many other people. But then again, when you're thinking about a narcissist, do they really care about pain? Whatever. So maybe they deserve to be stuck. But anyway, you got to try a couple of things that you need to address, because you love the person, and once you love someone, I know how hard it is to let go. I've been there, walked in those shoes, experienced it, but you have to tell your partner that you refuse to live any longer with an addict. You're not going to do it, okay? You have to tell them that you will stay with them only if they agree to get the help that they need, and they have to do this immediately. Not, oh, when I'm ready and I'll get around. No, that's not going to work for me. You're going to have to do this immediately. And tell them that if they're not going to get the help immediately, that you're going to leave them and you're not coming back. But the thing is, you have to stick to your word. When you do this, you can't be bluffing. You have to stick to your word. And if your partner does not get the immediate help, don't give them another chance. Leave. You have to leave. And don't return unless your partner is clean and sober. And when they are involved in a recovery program and they show that they have their attitude and the behavior has changed, then you can definitely reevaluate things and reconsider. You know, you have to also take a look at your own codependency. And a lot of times, it may not be codependency, but anyway, you still need support. That's why it's good for you to join Al-Anon, because Al-Anon, they help you to heal, and they help you to break your own patterns, and they help you to understand why is it that you're attracting these type of people. So the end point of what I'm saying, can you have a successful relationship with an addict? Yeah, right. That ain't going to happen, honey. No. You already know what you have to do, and what you have to do, as hard as it may be, and I know it's hard, you have to leave. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Okay, what do we got next? In my inbox here, we got, why do I keep choosing unavailable partners? Because you're afraid of commitment, you're afraid of a relationship. I could sum that up for you briefly. Next question. Okay, then. I don't know. Maybe you felt abandoned as a child. You have low self-esteem. I don't know. You're afraid of intimacy. I don't know. If you find somebody who's free and available, you have a lot of people who are into married men or married women. They want this married people because they don't have to be, intimate. They don't have to make a commitment. It's fear. You know what I mean? That's how that pretty much works. So we're going to move on to the next question. I hope I answered that sufficiently. Okay, check this out. This is a good question. What signs should I look out for in the beginning of a relationship to make sure that I don't end up with someone who's bad for me? This person says, I recently ended a really unhealthy relationship that took me years to get out of. I want to start dating again, but I'm so scared that I'll pick another person who will hurt me and will end up going through the same cycle all over again. How can I tell when I first meet someone if he or she will be bad for me? It's just called the lottery, sweetheart. Good luck. um, let's see. I gotta break this question down, so I'm trying to take it piece by piece. Um, the first thing you know, if you're dealing with someone who have addiction problems, how do you know how to pick up? If they have addiction problems, that's definitely red light. Keep it moving. No, let's not do that because that's guaranteed to hurt you. So we already know that. Or if you're living with a person who has anger issues, they blow up all the time, they're constantly losing their temper. You can't even talk to these people without them going from 0 to 1,000. There you go. They're walking time bombs. No, we can't do that. Um, what about a person who don't know how to take accountability? They're constantly blaming other people for things that are wrong. They never take any responsibility for the things that they do. They don't have any empathy, no guilt, no sympathy. Come on, that is okay. Red flags. And we also have those control freaks. Okay, you know what a control freak is. If you don't feel the way they feel, you don't think the way they think. You don't let them tell you how to walk, how to talk, how to sit, how to eat, how to. Oh, come on, yeah, yeah. We don't really need to be a bother with that, darling. Those are definitely called red light. I don't like to say red flags. I say red light because when you're driving, if you're a driver, when you see a red light, it means stop. So when you see these type of qualities in a person and you get the red light, it means stop. We're not talking about yellow light yield. No, we said stop. That means stop this relationship. It's done. It's a wrap. It's so not for you. Let's talk about sexual dysfunction, okay? Uh, God, we're not going to talk about a person who has sexual dysfunction that they can't, they have sexual performance issues. Um, you know, like they don't have the ability to have an orgasm. I don't know what that's all about. But let's talk about a sexual obsession. Like you have some people who they gotta watch porno, they gotta be doing all this threesomes, and you gotta be doing all kind of things that's gonna make you feel degraded. No, we're not doing none of that. You need to have a frank discussion in order to discover what is your partner's fantasy. What type of sex does your partner like? Do they like pornography? Do they have compulsive behaviors? Uh, have they ever been sexually molested? What about their childhood? Were they ever abused in childhood? We need to know all of these things. It's important, It's You also need to know, has your partner grown up? When you meet someone who's very charming, like narcissists, childlike, they make you feel like you want to take care of them. You just want to take care of them. They may not be grown up enough to have a relationship, sweetheart. So these are things that you need to look out. These are signs to see if you're compatible. You also have to keep in mind about financial irresponsibility. Are they financially responsible? What about if they're emotionally unavailable? You have to stay away from people who are not emotionally available. You have so many people in this world who are looking for love. So why should you bother being with someone who has a hard time opening up? And why should you spend your time wasting your time, if you want my view, with someone who has commitment issues? don't want to become emotionally involved. You have so many people out there who are looking for love and looking to be connected. So why should you stay out with that? And let's talk about the past relationships. They haven't recovered from their past relationships. They're ready to bring their baggage from that past relationship into your new relationship. Now, we all carry emotional baggage from our past relationships into the new ones, but sometimes that baggage can be so overwhelming and it's too much to deal with. No, we don't need that. None do we? No, we don't. What happens to the emotional crap that happened to them in their childhood? Who in our childhood hasn't been abused or traumatized or PTSD? Some people just can't seem to get past it, and you need to consider those things, really, because I can't be whether they sexually abused and sexual traumatized, physical or verbally abused. Did they have parental abandonment, divorce, death, adoption, suicide, emotional distance, eating disorders, parents who was addicted to drugs or alcohol? I mean, really, we have to take all these things into consideration. And I know it seems like, yeah, it don't look like I'll be getting married anytime soon, but that's okay. These are just things for you to consider, man. I tell you, I was married twice. I did my bid. It was a prison. And I was engaged to be married for the third time, which I definitely said no to that because there was too many red lights on that one. And I already had experience from two of these whatever. So when the third time came, I recognized it. I recognized where there's going to be problems here. So I did not do it again. It was not going to be a third marriage. No, 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 no. So, no. But these are things that needs to be considered for my 2B, who her question was, she says, what signs should you look out for in the beginning of a relationship so you make sure that you don't end up with someone who's bad for you? I gave you the list of things that you should look out for, and you got to keep in mind that relationships is like Russian roulette. You know what I'm saying? It's a gamble because you have so many people who they start off on the good foot. Everything looks great, love bombing. They're amazing. And you have some people who go into relationship. This is what I recently learned. Check this out. They go into these relationships knowing that they only plan on staying for 6 months. They know that they only plan on staying for 6 months. So of course they're going to be on their best behavior because they know after 6 months, see ya. So you have to be careful. So let me tell you something. I don't have time to play all of these games. Should I walk over here because that's a bomb, a time bomb, boom, that may explode. If I step over here, boom, no. Freak all of that nonsense. The best way to handle these situations is to go to your Heavenly Father in prayer and Jesus Christ, your Lord and your Savior. No, I'm serious. Everybody gets all uptight because they say your answer to everything is go to God in prayer. Go to God in prayer. And I went to God in prayer. And it doesn't seem like God is hearing me or answering me. Yeah, He is hearing you. And He's answering you. You prayed for a mate, but sometimes there are no good people in the town that you're living in. You know? He's hearing your prayer. He's not going to send you nobody who's garbage. You ask God to send you somebody who's compatible with you, who's on God's team sincerely. Like you got these pastors and priests and rabbis, everybody's getting busted for having sex with kids and abusing children and come on. You ask God and Jesus Christ to send you a friend or somebody who is sincere. And trust and believe me when I tell you, when you think about Sodom and Gomorrah, and you think about how God had to destroy a whole world of people How many people did he save out of a whole world? There were only seven people. So in the town where you're at, maybe there's nobody who God could send to you in this town because there are no good people there. So he is answering your prayer. You asked him for someone who's good, compatible, on God's team, someone who's sincere. There's nobody who's sincere in your town, honey. I'm sorry. Okay? And I know that's right because when I think about my roommate, I ask God to send me somebody who's perfect for me. God didn't send me nobody from where I lived. She had to come all the way from Virginia, a part of Africa, because there was nobody in my town that was right for me. He hears you. Trust and believe. There's nobody. I don't know. How sad is that? I know. At the same time, it's a blessing because God is protecting you. Now, I don't know where you live, but yo, come on now. Okay. Okay, let's move on to the next question. We have 21 minutes in. I see two tubies. What's up with that? I don't know whether this is messing up. Oh my. Come on, peeps. That's three, whatever, peeps. Come on. Okay, we're moving on to the next question. All right. This one says, can you ever be 100% sure that someone you're with is the right one for you? What qualities should you look for in a partner? Personally, me, I don't think that there's nothing in life is 100%. Okay, nothing in life is certain because everything is constantly changing. You know what I mean? And as I've been in the dating world and, considering my age, like I said, I'm seasoned now, what I've learned is that the key to choosing the right partner is to look for a person with good character. Not a person who simply has a good personality, but a person who has good character. Okay? Character, it determines how a person is going to treat you. Yeah. I'm looking at what you said. How can I determine what is... You got to think in terms of a person who is commitment to personal growth. You have to look for a person who is emotionally open. You have to look for a person, definitely one of my number one things is integrity, honesty, integrity, and trustworthiness are not just essential or needed. It's mandatory. You got to look at all those things. You know what I mean? And don't forget to look at how responsible the person is and their maturity level. When you got men who got the pants hanging off their butt and all of this, talking all this nonsense about how many girls I laid, did you lay up with her? Did you get her? Come on now. Come on. What about their self-esteem issues? If you have somebody who has a healthy self-esteem, that's definitely something that you can work with. And in terms of life, are you dealing with a person who has a positive attitude to life, towards life? Because I remember there's this old saying that there are two kind of people in this world. People who are positive and people who are negative. What type of people are you dealing with? If you have to spend the rest of your life with one of these people, a negative person or a positive person, which one would you choose? These are things to consider. When you think about negative people, they always focus on everything that's wrong, everything that's bad. They want to find something to complain about. Okay? When you're dealing with a person who is positive and they have obstacles and they have hardship, they turn those obstacles and hardship into opportunities. And they believe that things are going to get better, and they focus on finding positive solutions. They always focus on solutions, which is so me, which is one of the reasons why I have one of my past associates who don't like me, because I'm solution oriented. I already know what the problem is, but my main focus is on what's the solution. How about that? Yeah, really. How long should you wait for a partner to make a commitment? 18 months. And after 18 months, if they have not made a commitment, honey, don't waste your time. You have to keep in mind that women, we are on a time, we have a, how you say, biological clock. We have to have children if we want healthy children within, not really, because we got all kind of chemical. Yeah, after 18 months, if somebody is not willing to commit, I say adios and put them in your toy box. Keep them as a toy because they are nice to play with. That's my final solution on that. 18 months, that's about it. Okay, how about that? How soon in a relationship should you expect a commitment from your partner? 18 months. There we go again. Okay, next question. Next, 18 months. That's a year and a half. And if you have not made up your mind after being with me, at least hanging with me 1 day out of the week, 2 days out of the week, and you have not decided whether you want to make a commit, wait. And don't be sexual with anybody unless you have a commitment. If they're not willing to commit, what are you, a crackhead? What are you, a thought? THOT, that hole over there? A crystal meth addict? What are you, a piece of, what? The dirt underneath their shoe? Never that, sweetheart. You never have sex with someone who's not committed to you, who's not exclusive. That ain't happening. You're supposed to really have sex within marriage, but yeah, okay, we know that's not going to really work, but at least committed. Freak that craziness. Should you stay with someone who isn't over their ex-partner? Okay, I'm going to answer that one really quick. No. Because they're only going to keep... No. Do you really think that if you ignore this problem, it's going to go away? Well, it won't. And you need to know that. So keep it moving. Bye. That's the answer to that one. Really quick. Is it right to stay with someone even though you know that they're not right for you? No, it's not right, because you're sitting up there. You're using someone. No, it's not right. And you're going to reap what you sow because you're just using them. You know they're not right for you, but you're hanging out with them because you are staying with them because you are waiting for what you really want to come along. Meaning you're using the person. Come on. That's not cool. Not good. I don't agree with that. How can you tell if someone is really committed to a relationship? Okay. Let me see. And then she wants to talk about the whole story. And it's such a long story, so I'm just like trying to look through it. Oh, God. I don't have an answer to that, and that's where my tubies need to come in. How long should you stay with somebody who you know that you're not compatible with, or just like a waste of time? Personally, me, I'm out. Deuces, bye. You're getting older. I mean, really. Let me see. I'm going to pass that one. I have a question to ask. Oh, well, not even this person says, is there such a thing as called love, falling in love at first sight? Do I believe in that? No, no, I don't believe in that. I think it's foolishness. I think that you're a person who's a love at first sight junkie. You're addicted to falling in love, and you get a high, a certain high that it gives you. You know, you don't even know this person because take time to know the person. So when you sit up there and meet someone, I wouldn't call that what you're doing is falling in love. It may be more like falling in lust or falling infatuated, but it's never love at first sight. Okay, does that sum that up for you? Great. Oh God, no, please. That's just foolish. This one is, should a couple live together before marriage? My girlfriend and I have been dating for a few years and starting to talk seriously about our future. She wants to get married right away, but I still have some doubts and fear about the relationship. I've suggested living together as a next step, but she's afraid it will somehow ruin things between us. What's your opinion, Miss Truelove, of a couple living together before marriage? Hmm. Well, my viewpoint on that is, I gotta always look at these questions, is I see things the way God sees things. Anytime humans keep doing things opposite of what God says, it's not going to work. Now, if you can live together and not be sexual, I say go for it, by all means. But just make sure you agree not to commit a fornication. So go for it. Because I think that when you live together, you discover sides of your partner's personality that you couldn't know until you live together. But if you feel that you are, like sexually weak and you can't pull off this not committing adultery, then you should not live together. You know, um, when you live together before getting married, you also know whether your lifestyles are truly compatible. But if you decide to live together, as I said, and I will stand by it, the way God says do things, do it. The reason why people say don't live together before you get married is because of the sexual situation. But if you can live together and not violate Bible principles, I say do it, because when you live together, you will know their lifestyle, whether their lifestyle is compatible with yours. Um, you can also determine whether this is a person who is your true partnership. So you get same place. Um, but you have your own room, they have their own room, and that's how it is. You come to an agreement. No, in terms of violating Bible principle, that's not going to happen, because anytime you want to be sexual with me, yeah, we will be getting married, buddy boy. Now we have lived here together for a minute, if you will. We see whether, you know what I'm saying? And if you decide that you want to be sexual, yeah, we will be getting married. Why? Because God said that's the way it's supposed to be. Jesus Christ is never wrong, and neither is God. They created us. They designed us. They know what's best for us. They know what works and what doesn't work. Look at all the diseases that we have. People not listening to doing things God's way and Jesus Christ's way is disastrous. Really. Yeah. So let's just do it God's way. If you can live together and not be sexual, go for it. So you can see each other's habits, their beliefs, their ways, the way they are. Separate bedrooms, by all means, yes. Okay, this person says, well, hold up. I just lost a page. Anyway, we have been in here 35 minutes, so I'm going to end this. my beautiful Teletubby tubies. And it's live, so you can always give your comments and your viewpoints later on. You can type it in, and we will go back and forth if you choose to. Okay, she was true love. Until next time, you always have a choice, so please, by all means, choose wisely.